Howdy, my darling Aries. I am back giving you a weekly tarot reading for February, my love. We're already getting to the second month of 2025. Can you believe it, honey? Where is the time going, honey? I hope you've been well, though, my beautiful. As you already know, if you are not new here, I always like to connect to y'all's energy a little bit just so I know what it is I'm working with, honey. All right? But just to give you some context, all right? I understand not every Aries is living the same type of life. And so some Aries are feeling social, some are not. Some are more career-oriented. And so I always like to make sure that my readings are all inclusive and acknowledging that, where I will cover how I would be translating these cards for both capacities. All right, and so it doesn't matter what type of life you lead, Aries, that I will still make sure that you feel included, my love. All right, so let's talk about the first starting energy to this here, Aries, and tell me if this is accurate. We pulled the Queen of Cups here, all right, and hopefully I have my act together and I have the cards edited to pop up on the screen on the corners. The Queen of Cups, the Knight of Wands, right? And then we have the Justice energy here. So what calls out to me the most here, Aries, is that I feel like you're going into February feeling extremely motivated. Because to me, if I were to just allow my intuition to flow for a little bit, darling, let me cook, you might have felt as if there was some type of injustice that has happened to you. And this could have been something that happened like way in the past, perhaps, but it's something that really demotivated you from life itself. You might have been like a little bit disillusioned to the universe and spirituality, you know, anything of that nature there, because it's like you look at this, it's kind of like this cliche story where it's just like, all right, why is like always the nice guy finishing last? Right? Why is it you see all these people who you perceive as bad winning, but you're sitting over here and you're just like, okay, like, you know, when's karma not only going to happen to them, but when is it going? When is it going to pay off taking the high road here? All right, I feel as if February is going to be a month for you that you get really validated, and or more so reminded of that the universe is still actively working in your favor here. Because I do feel as if something happens that reignites your hope for humanity, I guess, if I were to make this dramatic. I think when it comes from a social standpoint for you, Aries, I really like to see what you're going to be going into in February, who you're going to be getting into. That sounds bad. Queen of Cups with this Knight of Wands here. Your spiritual team firstly wants to make it aware to you that they are trying to send some type of help, some type of blessing, some type of intel or wisdom, perhaps guidance in the shape of a person here. All right, pay attention to the people that you start crossing in your path here. This gives me very much so like the storyline of somebody that's like, let's say you're a writer. I won't be surprised if you end up running into somebody while you're at the grocery store who is like a publisher or knows like a publisher or who also is a writer. It's things of this nature that it's like a what is it? Is it that movie like The Butterfly Effect or something of that nature there? Anyways, to me this is like a sense of like, just pay attention to who your spiritual team sends out to you, because they're actively trying to help you out. I feel as if February for you is going to be a month, even from a social standpoint, February is going to be a month of where like your passion for life starts being reignited again. Your passion for life in terms of connecting to people, and just as well as just living your own life and chasing after your passions there. I do think it's really important for you right now to not give up on a certain goal or commitment that you've made for yourself in mind. Maybe you started this new year making the decision of being like, all right, I'm going to, you know, for simplicity's sake, let's say that you committed to going to the gym every single week or something like that. Your spiritual team is kind of clocking you in that way, Aries, and making sure that you're holding yourself accountable of continuing lighting that flame every single day and showing up, because even though you may not be seeing the results right now, your spiritual team is letting you know that eventually they're going to be giving you something in the scales to balance things out, to balance out your efforts. And so I don't know, because your spiritual team keeps on giving like these reassuring cards, this reassuring message to you, Aries, where it's like, you know, the results are coming, you know, soon TM, right? It's like, just believe in me, trust me, right? And so I don't know if it's been like a long dry spell for you, Aries, when it comes to like your manifestations or just seeing how your spiritual team will show up for you. But your efforts are going to be, you're going to finally start seeing the fruits of your efforts in February here. I do. And then naturally pull the Six of Pentacles, another card of representing the scales with that Knight of Wands. Yes, I see motivation happening for you, because it's like once one good thing starts happening for you, then I feel like it's inspired action of you just wanting to wake up every single day and like continuing on with it. Even from a social standpoint, I feel as if February is going to be a month for you where I won't be surprised with this new connection that you make. You guys end up clicking and getting to know each other really well, really quickly because of how much you end up having in common there. And it's because of how well you click with that person that I think it really gives you the clarity that you needed, or the inspiration that you needed, perhaps, Aries, to continue moving forward in your own life. Because I feel as if this person's involvement in your life has such a strong effect for you, and more than just like a companionship type of way. I really do feel like it wakes something up in you again. And then, hello, my darling. Aries, we pulled the Page of Cups. If you were to even just pause this video right now, Aries, and just look up Page of Cups meaning, one of the first things it's probably going to tell you is that it represents a new person entering your life. All right, either a new person or a new opportunity. Do you notice this pattern that we're having for your reading, by the way, Aries, where it's just this constant thing of like trying to hand a cup to you, trying to like add something into the picture here, right? You consider the Four of Cups. And this is who you would be in this illustration, where your arms are crossed, eyes are closed, because of your current situation, unable to see the cup that your spirit guide is trying to hand to you because of the frustration of your current environment, being that it feels so unfair to you, right? And I don't feel as if you feel entitled to any one specific thing, but at the same time, it's like, you know, you might be having said the question recently where it's like, all right, when is it going to be my turn to, you know, experience some of the positivities? When is it going to be my turn to reap into the abundance or this high, you know, I feel like there's like something about you that you've really tried to hard to like maintain like a certain mindset and not to allow certain things to defeat you, and you just haven't been able to really see the benefit of that. And I think that's going to be changing here in February. Outside of the social standpoint, though, I do feel like February is going to be a month, if you were to continue maintaining in the commitments that you've set for yourself at the beginning of this year. I do think, Aries, this Page of Cup is going to be manifesting as an opportunity being created because of choosing to that commitment, right? So let's just say, hypothetically, Aries, just for simplicity's sake, to explain the meaning of these cards and how you would correlate them. Let's say I'm an Aries. I'm a Libra. My moon's in Virgo and my rising's in Cancer, honey, right? But I have a lot of Libra. Anyways, but let's say I'm an Aries for this. If I was if this reading was for me and I was an Aries, I would look at this and be like, all right, if I were to commit to the commitment that I made to myself of showing back up on YouTube again, I won't be surprised if I continue with that commitment going into February if some really positive opportunity happens from it, right? Maybe I end up getting like another celebrity client. Maybe I end up getting my own, whatever. Obviously, it can be a million different examples there, Aries. But that's just something to think about. It's like, it's kind of like that storyline where it's just like, sometimes it's hard to really work out because it's like it takes so long for you to actually see the results of your labor there. I feel like I even used this example for one of the earth signs yesterday. So I don't know if maybe you also took in one of the earth side readings but I feel like that's for some reason familiar. I'm just getting like heavy deja vu here. King of Swords popping up here, Aries. Why is this showing up? With the Lovers. Again, Aries, pay attention to Libras in your life here. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Libra, but obviously the Justice is associated with Libra. Libra is an air sign. King of Swords shows up there, right? Another strong air sign energy. For whatever the reason is, maybe you have air sign in your chart as well. Even the Lovers is Gemini, my darling. Some type of person is going to be coming into your life, and your spiritual team does not want you to be missing it. All right. And I know we have that Lover's energy. And so a lot of you might be looking at that and be like, okay, Velca, but I'm not interested in love, yada, yada, yada. I get it, friend. All right. But the Lovers is probably the most complex card in the tarot deck because of all the nuance it has. If in the most simplistic way, it represents the sense of, the consequences of your actions. Whereas like if you were to, it's usually depicted by like Adam and Eve. I'm going to be holding it back a little bit because sometimes YouTube don't like the censorship, because one of the Miss Eve here has her titties out. So I don't know if YouTube's gonna like that or not. But you think about that storyline of Adam and Eve, where it's just like, when Eve had the choice of taking the bite of the apple or not, each of the choices that she could have made had, let's not say dire consequences, but like insane consequence, right? It changed the whole, if you were to align with the storyline of Adam and Eve and all that, it changed the whole storyline for humans. Right? And it would have changed it either way. If she took a bite of the apple or she didn't, spoiler alert, Miss Eve was feeling Miss Greedy during then and took a bite of the apple, and now we have free will. So I guess we can say thank you to her for that. But I'm playing. But the reason why I over explain this and I'm silly about this here is like that's really what I feel like is the embodiment of your energy right now, where it's just like the choices that you make right now is not necessarily like a right or a wrong, perhaps. Maybe there is. But it's more so trying to get you to understand the importance of like the choices that you're making right now and how it's going to be shaping up your 2025, because I really do feel like February for you is going to really set the tone for how the rest of this year is going to be. So the more serious you take February, Aries, the more serious you take it, the more prosperous the rest of this year is going to be here. All right. So if you're going to wait for any specific moment in time to really like crack down and, grind things out and really push yourself, February is going to be the time to do that, right? And this is all from like an introspective way, right? Going back from a more general social type of way here, my friend, I do just stand by the fact like I would be putting money on this, Aries, that I feel as if some type of air sign is going to be playing a strong role in your life. I don't know if this is someone that you already know, someone that your spiritual team is sending towards you. But I definitely am seeing strong Libra in this, especially because you even with the Six of Pentacles is has the representation of scale. So it just keeps popping up. Libra pops up in this so much here, which is interesting. And then we have the Five of Pentacles. Why is this Five of Pentacles showing up for you, Aries? Because I don't feel like that's your energy, but maybe I'm wrong. The World. Okay. One more, because if I leave it like this, I'm going to be coming after some of y'all's necks, and I don't want that to be the case. Five of Cups. All right, I'm going to be coming after some of y'all's necks, honey. All right, and put the cards down. We're about to be meaning business, honey. You're at this point right now where I feel like what's holding you back quite a bit, Aries, and I say this with love, and I say this with understanding that you're human, and I can say this so easily because I also can relate to it on some level. So please don't take this as me judging you, my love. All right, but you're at this point right now where you need to become more aware about where your insecurities, your imposter syndrome, where your sense of self-worth is coming from right now. Because I'm not saying that it's low. That's up for you to decide if it's low or high. Or, it's up to you to be honest with yourself about it. If I were to make an assumption, it doesn't seem to be too hot, but that doesn't matter here. All right. I think it's based off of something that you had moved on from, or that you've been trying to move on from the past. And so something I feel called to be saying to you, my darling, is that let's say, for example, you were cheated on, or you dealt with a betrayal when it came to your family. All right. And it sucks. And I'm not trying to downplay the experience that you had. And I understand the emotions that it makes sense. Right. So please don't take it as me dismissing any of that, obviously. But if that happened, the World card tells me that this has already been long gone and done with. Right. But the symptoms or the aftermath of that situation is still affecting you. All right. And it may not be something that you are consciously aware of right now, but I feel as if you could have such a higher sense of self, a higher sense of self-worth, rather, a higher sense of productivity, even more of trust in yourself, if you were to truly put something in perspective from the past. Now, I'm not obviously saying, Aries, just to like forgive somebody, right? It's not that simple, or to move on from something. It's not that simple, right? The human experience is not simple. But what I can be telling you is that, is this person or the persons that you dealt with in the past, are they worth them continuously robbing you of your time, energy, and emotion and feeling that seems to be happening right now? I'm a little bit worried when it comes to social connections for you, that even if your spiritual team sends forth people into your life, romantically, platonically, career-wise, whatever, that you're unable to receive them because of just like this deep rooted trauma that you have when it comes to connections that may stem from family or, whoever, right? And again, I understand why you would have that. I relate to it deeply, my love. But sometimes you have to just make the choice and be like, all right, this sucks. But, for you to choose to limit yourself from being able to open up to connections, that's still giving more power to the situation from the past there. And I know that's not your intention. So just something to think about, love. But I'm going to wrap this up here instead of preaching to you on my soapbox here. I hope this has helped, my darling. If you want to connect to me on any other platform, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, whatever, darling, just any platform you think of, search SimplyVelca, and I'm probably there, my love. All right. And if you want to book a private one-on-one tarot reading with me, whether it's a Zoom call where you get on one-on-one, or if I were just record a private reading for you and send it to you, I only do private readings through my website, SimplyVelca.com as well. All right, all of it's simple. But yeah, it's so nice to connect to you again, my beautiful Aries, and I will talk to you next Tuesday, my love. Bye.